Hey everyone, Rebecca Martin with Rebecca Martin Coaching, teaching you transformational public speaking skills for the workplace and also for your life. So today I'm going to bring you through a gesture drill. I'm going to show you some possible gestures that you could use in your everyday conversations. I'm also going to give you a few rules of thumb around gesturing. So hopefully this kickstarts your gesture habit, because I do recommend that you gesture as you speak for a number of reasons. And from here, you can iterate, amplify, whatever you need to do, whatever feels good to you. But this is a place to get started. So let's get started. The first thing I want to share with you is that this is what I call the frame of authority. So anywhere in this frame, you can gesture. So right now, go ahead and practice filling out this frame with your hands. Move them in all types of shapes and directions and speeds, but fill out this entire plane. Good. So just reminding yourself that you can take up space while you gesture. Another rule of thumb is that I like us to have a little bit of space underneath our armpits. When we do this, we're taking up space across our chest. We're also allowing ourselves to flex our wingspan and touch the edges of the frame as we're gesturing. When you take up space, you're communicating confidence, you're communicating authority, you're communicating that you are in control. You probably know this from Gesturing 101. Taking up space is a sign of the alpha dog. It's the person who has the most power in the room is going to be taking up space. That might be one attribute that they will use in order to communicate themselves as dominant or just clearly confident and in control. So go ahead right now, see what happens if you expand your wingspan, expand across the front of your chest, and take up space while you're gesturing. Again, just thinking about touching the edges of the frame and taking up space and keeping some space underneath your armpits. Good. So go ahead and touch the edges of the frame and keep that wingspan big, expanded. Good. You're just seeing what that feels like. Okay, great. Third rule of thumb, we want our gestures to be open, the palms to be open, and the gestures to generally move upward. So this is what I call splashing water on my face. It's fairly big, right? It's definitely upward moving, which creates a positive energy. And you'll notice that my fingers are extended. So my palms are open. And in general, I try to keep my palms open towards my audience because in body language land, this is what we want to see. We want to see that the person who is speaking to us, who is offering something to us, does it with an extension towards us and an open palm. It feels very generous. It feels very giving. It doesn't feel like you have something to hide or that person has something to hide. So continue practicing this, gestures that are upward moving and open palmed. Really extending that energy through your fingertips to feel the feeling of really opening towards the other person. So, this is something else to notice that some of us will do kind of internally facing palms and internally facing movement. This tends to mean that we are feeling fairly protective of ourselves, right? Kind of protecting our boundary here. So you want to break that open just a little bit and think about offering your information to the other person, offering that information to the other person. You can think about inviting them into the conversation. Inviting them into the conversation. So extending beyond yourself and into the other person and allowing this kind of two-way street to happen. Good. So those are just our rules of thumb in terms of gestures. Now we're going to play with different types of gestures and different ways that you can think of expanding your range of gestures. So the first is the idea is that you put your gesture on a shelf in front of you. So there's a shelf in front of you, and you're putting your information on that shelf. So go ahead and do that with me now. Lay your hands on that shelf, remembering about extending the energy of your fingers through your fingers, and really acting like this is an invitation to the other person to listen to you, to join the conversation, etc. You are still doing the action of just simply laying your information on that shelf. This is a way we can think about how we can gesture. There's this idea, and then there's this idea. I have this message that I'd like to communicate, but I'd also like to hear from you. You'll notice that I'm doing the same action, but using other words. The same action of laying my information on a shelf, but I'm using it in with different words, which you will be doing in your specific scenarios at work. Great. So finally, let's play with a few other gestures. If you're not laying your information on the table or inviting someone to join you or gesturing to yourself or something else or someone else in the room, what are you doing or what can you be doing? So from my practice, I have found that there are 3 different types of gestures predominantly. The first type of gesture is painting a picture. So you could be painting a vision for your company or for your team. You could be talking about your goals for the year or for the quarter. You could be painting a scene that you're going to step into. Maybe you're managing a restaurant and you want all the servers to know what you want the floor to look like. You can literally be painting the picture in front of you. These people are here. This issue is over there. This is the general tone of the room. Painting a picture is very effective and used often. You'll notice that you're seeing my entire palm, and you'll also notice that I'm using the space up here as opposed to only using the space down here. So it's nice to kind of break this line at some points just for engagement of your audience. Secondly, you can use your gestures to show structure. So my first point over here, my second point right here, and my third point is over here. My first point could be here, my second point could be here, and my third point could be here. We could be talking about stacked functions. We could be talking about a timeline. We could be speaking about numbers or a number of issues. But as you can see, I am using structure. I'm showing structure with my hands. So showing structure is your second option for the type of gesture you could be using. Finally, you can use your gestures to amplify your expression. Oh my God! Wow! This was truly amazing. Stop. I don't want you to do that. Stop what you're doing. I'd like you to think about something, right? So you can use your gestures to amplify your expression, whatever that might be. You can amplify it with your gestures. It's like if your words are not enough, then allow yourself to gesture to really amplify a point. So I hope that you have had fun gesturing with me today. If you have mirrored along with me the entire time, then you've had your gesture workout. If not, you can replay this video and mirror along with me in order to get your gesture drill session complete. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Mindset is the thing that's getting in your way. A presentation is simply a conversation, a dance that both of you are participating in.